Now coming to velocity and acceleration of center of mass, and then conservation of linear momentum of center of mass. See, how do we write the position vector for center of mass? Okay, we know position vector R center of mass is sigma mi Ri divided by sigma mi. So when I differentiate this relation, okay, differential of position dr by dt will give you velocity. So what should be your expression for velocity of center of mass? V center of mass is sigma mi vi divided by sigma mi. Similarly, acceleration of center of mass is sigma of mi into ai by sigma of mi. So by differentiating velocity you get acceleration. If I take this total mass to the left hand side, what is your momentum of center of mass? Total mass into V center of mass is nothing but sigma of mi into vi. And similarly, if I take this total mass to the left hand side, mass into acceleration, the force acting on center of mass is sigma of mi into ai. Sum of all the vector sum of all the forces acting on individual particles will give you the net force acting on center of mass. So related to this, we may get some numericals. Okay, evaluate the center of mass if V1 and V2 are given. But remember one point, that is law of conservation of linear momentum. Okay, what does the law of conservation of linear momentum say? If there is no external force acting on the system, then momentum of center of mass remains constant. So this is an important relation, okay, called as conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum. So related to this, look at some simple applications. Say you are firing a gun. Okay, you are firing a bullet. Mass of the gun is m, mass of the bullet is u. Before firing, these two objects were at rest. So what is the initial momentum? 0. Since there is no external force acting on the system, okay, then its momentum has to remain constant. So what was the total initial momentum? 0. What will be the final momentum? If you fire the bullet with a speed u, m into u, I cap, momentum of the bullet, plus momentum of the gun, we call this as recoil speed, must be equal to 0. Total initial momentum should be equal to final momentum. From here, tell me what is the speed of the gun, velocity of the gun. V is equal to minus of mu divided by capital M I cap. So when you fire a bullet from a gun, the gun will move in the opposite direction with a velocity m into u divided by capital M. So this is one simple example of conservation of linear momentum. One more example. Explosion. Say a stationary bomb of mass m. Okay, initially it is at rest. So what is its initial momentum equal to? 0. If it suddenly explodes into n particles, so we know all the particles fly off in different directions, but velocity of center of mass is 0. Okay, because initially it is at rest, initial velocity is 0, final velocity also should be 0. Then what will be the final momentum for all the particles? m1 v1 plus m2 v2 vectors, and so on as many particles as it has broken into. So total initial momentum should be equal to total final momentum. All the particles fly away, but center of mass remains in its position. So P final, if it becomes equal to P initial, I can write m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus m3 v3 and so on. The sum will become equal to 0. Or one more example I can give you. Say you have projected the explosive. Okay, a body is projected, and while traveling it is breaking into 2 particles or 3 particles, whatever it is. All the particles may fly off in various directions, but center of mass will complete the parabolic path. Okay, because at this particular point, due to conservation of linear momentum, total initial momentum should be equal to final. All the particles may go away, but what will happen to the center of mass? It will complete its parabolic path. Internal forces are not going to affect the center of mass. Only external forces will affect the center of mass. So these points you can remember for conservation of linear momentum. Okay, let us look into some more numericals related to conservation of linear momentum. Okay, so look at this question. Now, this is also an often given question. A body of mass m kg is exploding into 3 particles with masses in the ratio 1:1:2. Okay, I am repeating the question. There is a body of mass capital M. It is exploding into 3 particles. What is the ratio of the masses? m1:m2:m3 is 1:1:2. If the 2 particles of same mass move perpendicular to each other, they will ask you to find the velocity of the third particle. Again, I repeat, a stationary explosive of mass capital M is exploding into 3 particles. 2 of them are of same mass. If they move perpendicular to each other with a velocity v or with a speed v, what is the velocity of the third particle? So let's see how to use conservation of momentum. It's exploding due to internal forces. There is no external force acting. When there is no external force, momentum of center of mass should remain constant. So how will you write the equation for momentum of center of mass? Initial momentum before exploding was 0. Should be equal to final momentum. So how to write m1, m2 and m3? It's one part out of 4. So it's m by 4. m2 is m by 4, 1/4 of the total mass. m3 is 2m by 4. So you know the masses. m1, m by 4. Its velocity is v, but they are moving in mutually perpendicular directions. See, if m1 moves along x-axis, m2 has to move along y-axis. So I will write the vector I cap plus m2 into its velocity. It's moving perpendicular to the first one, plus m3 2m by 4. I'll write this velocity vector as v3. So this is the final momentum, which should be equal to initial momentum. So equate them and find out what is v3 coming out to be. This 4 and m will anyway become 0. So vi plus vj is minus 2 times of v3. Okay, m by 4, m by 4, m by 4, I have taken it to 0. So we want v3. So what is v3 vector equal to? Minus v by 2 I cap minus v by 2 j cap. So this gives you the velocity vector for the third particle. If magnitude of velocity is asked, find out its magnitude. So v by 2 root 2. V by 2 whole square plus v by 2 whole square under root. You will get the value as v divided by root 2. Magnitude is v by root 2 and this will give you along with directions. So this is one question, okay, where you are finding out the velocity of the third particle. Okay, one more question we will see. Okay, so this is an example of a projectile. Okay, so this time an explosive of mass m is projected, okay, with a speed u making some angle theta with horizontal. So when it reaches the highest point, here it is exploding into 2 particles. Okay, I am repeating the question. An explosive of mass capital M projected with initial speed u making an angle theta with horizontal is projected. When it reaches exactly the highest point, it is split into 2 masses. That means it's exploding into 2 particles of same mass, m by 2 and m by 2. So if one particle comes to rest, say one of them is stopping there, what is the speed of other particle? Okay, I repeat the question. Explosive of mass m is projected. After reaching the highest point, it is dividing into 2 masses. If one of them stops, that means it instantaneously comes to rest. We want the speed of the second particle. So now when this explosive is reached at the highest point, what is its initial momentum? Remember, it's not 0. We know what is the velocity at the highest point of a projectile. It has horizontal component of velocity u cos theta. So total momentum before exploding, mu cos theta, I cap, don't forget to write directions, should be equal to, it is exploding into 2 particles. One of them is coming to rest, 0. Other particle, m by 2 into, okay, I'll take the mass as m, into, let the velocity be v2. We don't know what its velocity is. So equate both of them. Total momentum before explosion should be total momentum after explosion. M will anyway get cancelled. So u cos theta I cap into 2 should be v2. So what is the velocity of the second particle? v2 should be 2u cos theta I cap. That means it has a speed equal to 2u cos theta, double the speed of the initial velocity, double the value of u cos theta. Now coming to questions related to a man and a plank. Okay, a man and a plank problems. Okay, they'll be giving you a question like there is a plank resting on a smooth surface or on a ship on the surface of water. If a man standing at one corner walks to the other corner through a distance L, so what is the displacement of the ship? Okay, they'll give you the mass of the man as well as the mass of the ship. So for such type of questions, we'll be using conservation of linear momentum. Okay, since there is no external force acting on the system, we know velocity should remain constant. If velocity is 0, then there should be no displacement in center of mass. Okay, so since there is no external force and velocity is constant here, that means velocity is initially 0, then displacement of center of mass should be 0. So how to write the expression for displacement of center of mass? If I write it as R, what is your R center of mass? Sigma mi Ri divided by sigma mi. If I differentiate it, delta R Cm should be equal to sigma mi into delta Ri divided by sigma mi. Since there is no displacement in the position of center of mass, delta RCM becomes 0. If this term becomes 0, what can we write? Sigma of mi into delta Ri should be 0. If it is one dimensional, you can write it as m1 delta x1 plus m2 delta x2 and so on up to mn delta xn has to become 0. So I will be making use of this relation for solving all the questions related to a man and a plank. Okay, so let us look into some examples. The first case. In the first case, there is a boy of mass small m standing on a plank whose mass is capital M lying on a smooth surface. If he travels a distance L on the plank in the forward direction, what is the displacement of the plank? So for that I said no, I will be making use of this relation. We have two particles, one is the boy and the other one is the plank. So take a reference line. Okay, for solving all these questions, follow the same process so that you don't make mistake even if the question is complicated. So it is the simplest case. So this is my reference line. I will assume that if the boy walks to the other corner, the plank has travelled forward. You can assume anything. If your assumption is wrong, you will get a negative sign, that's all. I have assumed that this plank has moved forward through what distance? X. So this is the center of mass of the plank. Now this is the center of mass of the plank. Boy was at this corner initially. Now the boy has come to this corner. Now tell me what is the displacement of the plank and displacement of the boy. We know m1 delta x1 plus m2 delta x2 should be 0. m1 mass of the boy, okay, mass of the plank into its displacement. Okay, previously it was here, now it is here. Is the displacement of the plank x in the forward direction plus small m into displacement of boy. Boy was at this point. Now he is at this corner. How much is the displacement? He was at origin before, now he is at a distance L plus x. So m1 delta x1, display mass of the plank, displacement of the plank, mass of the boy, displacement of the boy must be equal to what? 0. Now simplify it. Mx plus ml plus small mx should be 0. We want the value of x. M plus n into x is minus ml, or what is x equal to? Minus ml by m plus n. Now tell me what does that minus sign indicate? We have got minus ml by m plus m. This is the displacement of the plank. Is the plank having a positive displacement or a negative displacement? I assumed it moves to move forward, but it is actually moving backward. So once you get this value of x, they may ask you what is the displacement of the plank, that is x. How much is the displacement of the boy with respect to the reference line? displacement of ball is L plus X. Whatever value you get, you put it here. If it is minus, write it as L minus X. Okay, just substitute the value of X, you will get the displacement of ball. So this is how you solve this question where only one boy is present and the plank is moving in the opposite direction. Now sometimes the question can be complicated. Okay, so let's look into one more question. This question, instead of giving a single person on a plank. So this is a plank which is on a frictionless surface. Okay, I will give two persons. He is having a mass small m. This is capital M. And one more boy whose mass is 3. Okay, this is the center. Length of the plank is L. So the question here is, what is the displacement of the plank if these two boys exchange their positions? Okay, I repeat the question. The two boys are exchanging their positions. Keep the reference line as it is. Just now I told you, assume that displacement of the plank to be forward. Okay, it makes your calculation simple. I have assumed that the plank has moved forward through a distance x. Now this boy has come to this corner, 3m, and this one has gone to the opposite side, m. Center, center. Now altogether we have 3 particles, m1, m2 and m3. Now I will write m1 delta x1 plus m2 delta x2 plus m3 delta x3 0. First for the plank. What is the displacement of the plank? Center of mass of the plank was here, now it is here. It has got displaced by how much of distance? X. So capital N into x. Plus, what is the displacement of small m? Small m was at origin. Now he is here. Did he cover a distance x plus l? Final position, initial position. So m into l plus x minus 0. Plus, now look at 3m. 3m was initially at a distance L. Now he is at a distance x. So what is the displacement of this boy? 3m into final position. Final position is x. Initially he was at a distance L. This sum has to become 0. Equate it to 0. mx plus ml plus mx plus 3mx minus 3 ml should be 0. Okay, we need the value of x. mx plus 3m plus m, 4mx should be equal to, okay, see, minus 3 ml plus ml. Okay, I will write it as 2 ml. So, or x is equal to 2 ml divided by capital M plus 4m. Did we get a positive or a negative value? Now we have got a positive value. Positive value implies your direction is correct. The plank is going to move forward through a distance 2 ml by m plus 4m. So when you displace or when these two boys exchange their positions. So for any type of question you can solve it if you assume the direction to be positive. If you get a negative value, it's going back. If you get a positive value, your assumed direction is correct. So this is how you can solve problems related to the man and plank. Okay, now coming to problems related to trolley and a man jumping out of the trolley. Okay, so these type of questions are also often asked. So look at the question first, then I'll tell you how to solve it. So there is a trolley of mass capital M and there is a boy standing on it whose mass is small m. So they will ask you a question, if this man jumps out of the trolley with a speed u relative to trolley. Okay, find out what is the speed with which the plank is going to move. See, for such type of questions, again the same concept, there is no external force, velocity of, momentum of center of mass should remain constant. Okay, when there is no external force, momentum is constant. If momentum is constant, okay, we can write total initial momentum should be equal to total final momentum. So initially before jumping, the whole system is at rest. So what is initial momentum of the system equal to? 0. Final momentum. Okay, I want the momentum of boy plus momentum of the plank. So if I write the final momentum as m1 u1, if it is a 2 particle system, m2 u2. So here the most important thing that you have to remember is u1 and u2. Okay, whatever speeds I am taking for the plant and the boy after jumping from the trolley, these are the speeds related to ground. See, when you are writing the conservation of momentum, we never take relative to plant. All these speeds should be relative to ground. So now let us see how to get u1 and u2. So first look at the trolley. I will assume one direction, just like we have done in the previous case. Let us assume the trolley is going to move with a speed v when the man jumps. So I have assumed a direction. If your direction is wrong, you will get a negative sign. Okay, don't worry about the direction. If the plant is moving with a speed v and the man is jumping relative to the plant with a speed u, tell me what will be the speed of boy with respect to ground. See, for a person standing on the ground, what will be the speed of the boy? He is jumping with a speed u relative to the plant. Plant is also moving forward. So his speed relative to ground will be u plus v. Okay, his mass I have taken it as small m. Now for the trolley, okay, what is capital M to capital M? What is the speed I have taken? V. Now use the final momentum. Initial momentum should be final. Initial momentum is anyway 0, the system is at rest. Final momentum, m1 u1. So small m into u plus v plus m2 u2, capital M into v must be equal to 0. Open the bracket and simplify. mu plus m into capital V plus capital M into v should be 0. Implies, what is capital V equal to? Minus mu by m plus n. Look at this relation. What sign did we get here? Minus sign. That minus sign implies, if I have assumed the direction of trolley forward, but the trolley is actually moving backward. So take any direction, your answers will not change. Again I am repeating, u1 and u2 are the speeds related to ground, not related to the plank. So once you know this, your velocity of the plank is minus of mu by capital M plus small m. But remember, this u is related to trolley. So this is a simplest case when one boy is jumping. Okay, sometimes they may give you two boys are jumping simultaneously. So using this relation, I will give you a generalized equation, but it should be simultaneous only. If two people are jumping simultaneously, let the mass of this be m. So let the mass of this person be 2m. Related to plank, his speed is u. Related to plank, his speed is u. Mass of the plank, I take it as capital M. Now write this general relation. Velocity of the trolley is given by minus of sigma mi ui divided by sum of the masses. I have generalized this relation, but remember, it is not one after another, it should be simultaneous jumping. Tell me what should be the velocity of the trolley for this situation? Minus of sigma mi ui. All these speeds are related to the trolley itself, because we have got here mu relative to trolley. M into u. This is forward, positive. 2m into u, but opposite. So minus 2mu divided by sum of the masses, capital M plus small m plus 2m. Now what would your answer be for this question? Okay, if I write it here, velocity of trolley will be minus of mu minus 2mu is minus mu by capital M plus 3m. You are getting a positive value. Implies the trolley is going to move in which direction? Forward direction. But take care, this should be done simultaneously. Okay, if one person jumps and then after the second one jumps, then this rule is not applicable. Okay, we have to use conservation of momentum again after the first situation. So this is how you can solve the questions on conservation of linear momentum. So apart from this, you also have acceleration of center of mass. Okay, formula based applications will be there for acceleration of center of mass, find acceleration of center of mass of Atwood's machine and so on. So let me stop here.